Hello, and a very warm welcome to What Med Media for the last time in 2020, but definitely not for the last time ever. You'll be pleased to know we'll keep going. I'm Dr. Kishan Rees, and thank you very much for joining the page. I know it's been a difficult year in terms of 2020. Hello, mate. Daratello, how you doing? I know it's been an incredibly difficult year, and I wanted to wish you all the best and also thank you so much for your support over 2020. Together, we've done some pretty amazing things. 2.2 million people reached at its peak on the page with 185,000 engagement and basically £2,000 worth of crowdfunding for Facebook ads. That's not bad at all, considering this is a hobby. And I do it just to, because I find it interesting, but I also think it's really worthwhile. Thank you, Alison. 35 people watching, record quick time. Please like, share, comment. The reason that we're going to do this video, it's only going to be a quick one, but it's an opinion piece in today's Guardian, just in case you haven't seen it and you've missed it. It's absolutely vital that while we're holed up in our houses, not working on the front line, I don't work on the front line at the moment, but while we're holed up, I think it's absolutely vital to recognise the people that are putting their lives on the line, working in NHS, ITUs, hospitals, A&Es across the country. And who better to tell you about it than Samantha Bat-Rawdon, in today's Guardian in the opinion page. So what we're going to do, 50 people watching, I am going to start reading this. Keep your questions coming in the comments, where you are, what it's like where you are, how are you finding it, what your hopes for 2021. And then we're just going to read through this. And then, what I might do is stop for a little bit of progress, instead of making progress, just for a little bit of rest. Take some questions. So absolutely pleasure to everybody with the questions, and 60 people watching already. So here we go. This is Intensive Care is Full and COVID Patients Keep Arriving by Samantha Bat-Rawdon, who is the President of the Doctors Association UK, a Senior Registrar in Intensive Care Medicine, and a friend and a colleague. So for all the nonsense that you see on social media in terms of this is a fake virus, it doesn't exist, yada, yada, yada. If you want to know what it's like, stay in this video. And as we're going through, any questions from what we talk about, please let me know. Hello, Patrick. How you doing? So here we go. It's Christmas morning and it's 2 degrees outside. My breath rises as I stand at the boot of my car, peeling off my layers. This is Sammy's ritual now. She's already changed into clean clothes at work, but with a new, more virulent strain of SARS-CoV-2, she's not taking any chances. Tiptoeing through the front door, the house is silent. Everybody is still in bed, even her 3-year-old. She steps into the shower, turns up the heat and as high as it goes, and let the night shift wash off her. Tell you what, I don't miss working night shifts at all. So thank you, Sam, for doing this, and everybody else that is. And if people are taking 10 years of their life expectancy doing a full rota of nights, the least we can do is sit at home when we're told to and limit social contacts to stop the spread of this virus. If you agree with what I'm saying, like and share, and it's nice to look up and see streams of comments as I look up and likes and things. So that'd be really handy. Thank you. So Sam's grateful for the chance to sneak in a quick coffee. She left work 16 hours ago and has been awake all night. The past few weeks have been the toughest NHS workers have faced yet in the battle against COVID. The virus has not discriminated as much as we thought it would. Older people, younger people, those with medical problems, those without, all brought in their droves. Ambulance after ambulance would arrive with patients fighting for breath, as they desperately tried to shuffle beds to accommodate them. By November, things were looking bad. We had clung to the hope that a second lockdown would slow the relentless march of the pandemic. But as we hit December, cases in the southeast of England, where Sam works, continued to rise all around us. The virus works quickly. Some patients would come in smiling, talking, not realising their oxygen levels were already critically low. and probably had been for days. We term these cases happy hypoxia, and we've talked a lot about this. Alison, we basically are in a national lockdown. It's just everywhere's tier 4, and it just suits Boris to not say that we're in a national lockdown. But look at the map. Everywhere's tier 4. The only problem, I would suggest, from a communication and a messaging point of view, because that's what I'm writing my MD in, my Doctorate of Medicine at Hull York Medical School, is the consistent chopping and changing of messaging just confuses people and causes more problems and more issues. So great, 70 people watching. See if we can get up to 100. Please share, please tag your friends. There's only about, I don't know, another half of this to go, and then I'll leave you to get on with whatever you're doing this evening. As long as it's not going out, obviously. Just sitting at home and watching TV, I guess. But anyway, where did we get to? Fine. We term these cases happy hypoxia. Our hearts would sink as we pulled up their chest x-rays. Their fate was already sealed. We knew hours later they would be face down, fighting for their lives on a ventilator. A heroic effort was once again underway to enact surge plans. Management cancelled operations to free up staff and equipment. Medics with no experience in critical care were redeployed, turning up, looking wide-eyed and shell-shocked. We made a special effort to look after them, Sam says. We could not afford to lose them, while each day another one of our colleagues became sick. Wards became temporary ICUs, yet as quickly as we could make more beds, they were filled by those with the virus. Teams scrambled to move ventilated patients by ambulance out of southeast hospitals with any capacity left. 2 hospitals with any capacity left. Those hospitals are now full. By the week before Christmas, there was no room left at the inn. Are you surprised by this? I don't know. People watching, are you surprised by this? Maybe you are. The tabloids continue to report we were quieter than this time last year. That we had even more capacity, than before, but it simply wasn't true. What they had failed to realise when reporting on our expanded ICU capacity is what that truly meant. Using portable ventilators and anaesthetic machines, the kind of ventilators used for operations are not intended for long-term ventilation. I've missed the good question, so we'll come back to it in a sec. Hold on. Not intended for long-term ventilation of sick patients, putting patients in theatres and wards not set up for critical care, using staff who aren't trained in looking after ICU patients. Just at this point, while I remember it, there's a Channel 4 interview with Hugh Montgomery, Professor Hugh Montgomery, who is a intensive care consultant at the Whittington. Go on Channel 4's YouTube page after this video and look at the video. It's absolutely amazing. 17 minutes of him, again, talking what it's like on the front line. Forget about what these politicians that want to make a cheap, cynical point about when they're talking about this, because quite frankly, they're not on the front line. They don't know what's going on. So you might as well listen to sources that do, like Sam, like Prof Montgomery. When you hear that hospitals are running at capacity, what that means now is that they are running at 100% of 150%. I'm not sure, or she's not sure, how she can find more space. For NHS staff, the painting of this inaccurate picture works to sap away the morale that is left and erodes the support and understanding from the public and their families that helps them get through. While people worried about Christmas, doctors and nurses were worried about how they could keep their patients safe. For many, their leave had long been cancelled, while others were moved onto emergency rotas and found themselves working over the holidays at the last minute. Some, like me, volunteered, like Sam, volunteered. Sam is an ICU doctor. Aside from that, she's also the lead for the Doctors Association UK. In her role as president, she hears from those on the front line across various platforms catering for more than 45,000 doctors. She can't tell you how hard they've had to fight to raise morale a second time around. How do you raise spirits knowing that last time we lost more than 650 of our colleagues? I can't tell you what it's like having to ventilate a colleague. She has lost more than one. Long gone are the days of clapping on doorsteps. The things put in place to support NHS staff during the first wave have been taken away when they were needed most. Free parking, access to tea and coffee during long nights, mental health support, let alone the promised pay rise. And now, even as the staff continue to risk their lives every day that they work, they find themselves at the back of the queue for a vaccine. In some hospitals, vaccines haven't even been mentioned yet to staff, and Sam has no idea when it will be her turn. It was she goes on to say it was our one light at the end of a very long tunnel. Sam dwells on this as she sips her coffee on Christmas morning, watching the sunrise. Her 3-year-old wakes up. I couldn't be happier seeing how excited he is. The morning is spent opening chocolates, ripping off wrapping paper. A box of chocolates is opened. It is decided that 11 a.m. is not too early for bubbly. Her heart is so full. Yet her mind also wanders back to the previous night. I can't help thinking of a family who will not be celebrating. The family of a young man in his 20s who won't come home. I can still feel, she goes on to say, his ribs cracking under my hands as I've tried to push life back into him with CPR. You're quiet, says Sam's husband. It stares me out of my, this is a new word I've never read before, reverie. I'll have to talk to her about that. I should have read ahead in the article. I don't know if I've said that right. Anyway, it's R-E-V-E-R-I-E. But anyway, Sam's husband gives a tired smile, a hug that lasts a second too long. Bad night, he says, he understands. She says a silent prayer for the family who will be mourning today and push it out of her mind. Today is a day for joy. She has so much to be grateful for, and so she celebrates and enjoy this brief reprieve of what I know will be waiting for us in January. I'm just going to have a quick look at the questions. We've got 80 people still on, so you must have some questions, so please kind of add them in the comments and I'll try and answer them and I'll get to them. But I felt it was important to talk through that, really. Let's have a look. Oh, we've only been going 11 minutes, that's good. Oh, let's turn that down. Here we go. So, let's start reading through the comments. Pam, even oxygen is running out in hospitals. Okay, so I know that's quite scary and concerning in terms of when it says oxygen is running out. Again, if you look at Professor Hugh Montgomery's interview on Channel 4, excuse me, what he says is it's not actually running out, but it's the rate at which it's needing to be supplied is too much. So the pressure is low and running out. So it's more of an engineering problem than a supply problem. There's also, they're putting patients on nasal high flow oxygen, a special device which spends a lot of oxygen, burns through a lot of oxygen. So what he's saying is he's hoping that the government will authorise the newer devices that use less oxygen apparently, so that should help. We need it to be on the news like it was on the news in Italy to show public the reality of hospitals. Alison Louise, I completely agree. Either a new name or a new picture, I'm not sure. Anya Zen, who's a sharer. Thank you, Anya, for sharing. I really appreciate it. And you've also got a comment there as well, but I'm reading it here at the moment. Anya's not surprised. We should have been in full lockdown over Christmas, but the government didn't want to incur the presumed wrath of British voters. What about the wrath of voters who have figured out that you are happy to let people die? 7 likes. I'm not sure that they're happy to let people die, in all honesty. And I know I got a bit of stick at the beginning of this when I said that, I can't remember exactly what I said. I sometimes get stick, I just share things that I think are interesting and people should be aware of. And I'm keen to keen to encourage proper discussion and debate rather than just driving people into 2 political camps. But yeah, I largely agree with what you said, Anya. Heather, where did the budget go to? Possibly £50 an hour on agency staff, some of whom are now contracted to NHS hospitals. I'm not sure what that is, what you're saying. Let's have a look. What's really winding me up is that these so-called celebs are all abroad, lying that they're there for work when clearly they're on the piss, says Katiba. Something needs to be done. How bad naming these event halls being romanticised by calling after Florence? I don't know what that means. Katiba, and when there's people like me who work with the vulnerable and do everything to make sure I'm extra careful and I get tested positive and feel so unwell over the past 5 days I've been in bed. Oh no, Katiba, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you get well soon. Let's see, let's go down. Staff shortage, completely agree. Another good comment. Going down, following the science, question mark, from Brian. Brian's given me an FT comment, an ft.com. So I will look at that. Thank you very much. If there's any stuff that you want me to look at, any interesting clips or videos or links, please do put them in the comments after this video and I'll have a look. And that's it. I've got to the end of the comments. So we'll keep it short tonight. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate your time. I've got to spend the evening now writing more of my MD, which is about the role media can play in the mass public health communication during a global pandemic. So it'll be topical, if nothing else. And I hope you all enjoy a very safe and happy New Year's Eve, but more importantly, 2021. And yeah, thanks very much for your time. I really appreciate the likes, the shares, the comments. We are making a difference. We 100% are making a difference by being a community of people here. Get to know people in the comments, tag them, like them, talk to them privately, reach out to people, just say hi. You'd be surprised how kind people are. And the reason that I get you to talk in the comments is for two reasons. One, it serves it up to more people on Facebook. Secondly, I think it's a really good opportunity for you to just chat to people and know that you're in the same boat. Thank you, Jeanette. I very appreciate it. Media studies. I didn't do media studies at GCSE, so I'm missing out. I missed out. Maybe I should have done. Maybe I should have done. But yeah, thank you very much. I hope you all have a lovely evening and an even better 2021. I can just see some fireworks out the window, which is nice. But yeah, so I'm going to call it a day. We might well start the crowdfunding up next year. If I feel that I can do enough justice in terms of putting these videos out regularly, then I will ask for crowdfunding. But obviously, because I fell off my bike and had a little bleed, and in my head, it's taking some time to recover. I saw a quick question saying why there's more than one vaccine needed, and basically top line, you potentially need to vaccinate significant proportions of the globe, the world population. So there's 7.7 billion people on the planet. So yeah, that's pretty simple and quick answer, isn't it? Stay safe, stay well. Just scroll back, see if there's any more questions that I can see. I don't think there are. Okay, can't really see any. But yeah, so thank you very much for watching. A safe and new year on cycling. Yeah, do you know, I've already got my eyes on a new bike. Not that the other one completely got destroyed, but I went out on it today a little bit, freezing cold, and yeah, the brakes they're all right, but I think I'll get some hydraulic brakes or some proper disc brakes. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm afraid I've got an evening of writing now. I say afraid, I don't really mind, I love it, really enjoy it. What I will do is when I get my ethics application for the research that I'm doing in terms of, when I get the research application in terms of my ethics for the doctorate of medicine that I'm doing, then I will put something on What Med Media. And if any of you would like half an hour chat, semi-structured interview, then it would be fun, wouldn't it? To talk through some questions. You can contribute to the dissertation that I'm writing. And hopefully we can find a better way to deal with the next pandemic, because you probably don't want to hear that now. And I understand that and I get that. But if you look at the global situation, I think it's highly likely that we're going to have to face another outbreak in our lifetimes. And it's not enough just to say that, oh, the last one was in 1918 of this kind of scale. And yes, we've had SARS and MERS and Ebola and other outbreaks from 2000, but I think it's likely that there will be another one. So how can we utilize the tools that we have at our disposal to really, really help? So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate your time. Stay safe, look after yourselves and each other, and I'll see you guys really, really soon. Cheers.